everyone, and welcome to 5 Tips. Today, I'm super excited to have Deb on. She's one of my executive sales coaches out of the Chicago area to share her 5 tips, which are a fun 5 tips. So, Deb, tell us a little bit about what you do, and then let's get into sharing these 5 tips.
Fantastic. Yep, Deb Venable. I ramp up salespeople. So I help with strategic planning, coaching, training, and just really try to get salespeople to understand there has to be a plan put in place and then follow it to succeed and to hit your goals.
That's awesome. All right, let's hear about these tips about running.
Yes. So on the side, I run marathons. Maybe I'm crazy, but I love to do it and I love the energy. So I thought I'd kind of go off topic of kind of everyday business stuff and talk a little bit about how an everyday person like me can run a marathon. The first thing, very similar to many things in life, you just have to pick a plan and stick to it. So first tip I would offer is to make sure that you figure out what your goal is. Are you looking for just a finish time? Just to finish a specific time? What is it? Pick from novice, intermediate, expert plan. There's a lot of different plans out there. If you see up to the left here, you'll see that this is Hal Higdon. He's one of kind of the old timers that everyone has followed his plans forever. And so do I. That's who I use. Big trick too is don't stray off the plan. You have to put the miles in. At the end of the day, nobody can just go from waking up in the morning to running 26.2 without having the plan, sticking to it, and putting the time in. So you can't stray off the plan. Stick to the plan. And then also just remember that part of the plan is to have a healthy diet and to get good sleep. Sounds corny to say, but very common for everything in life, right? You're not going to get very far in life if you don't have good sleep and good eating habits.
True.
So second one is to have accountability partner or partners. So I was very blessed. I had some really good friends that decided to do this with me, and there was 4 of us. So we always knew that at least a couple of us would be at that path ready to run. And the biggest thing about accountability is it does help you fill those gaps. You will lose motivation. You will just kind of fall off the path a little bit, but we pushed each other. We encouraged each other. So it's kind of like that, I'm going to push you to go faster, but I'm also going to encourage you when you're having a bad day. And then as corny as it sounds, really there's safety in numbers. So you do not want to be running your 10, 15, 18, 20 mile run by yourself because God forbid something happens to you and you need help home. It's just safe to have people around you. So like anything in life, having an accountability group really kind of holds you accountable and makes you more motivated to do it. Third tip is to allow yourself to have bad days. So we're all human. At the end of the day, marathon runners are as human as anybody else. And it's almost no way you can survive marathon training without getting a little sore throat or the sniffles. So just run slower. Just pull back and kind of have an easier day. You're going to have work or family conflicts. Life is still going on around you, even while you're trying to train for a marathon. So again, don't worry about it. Don't freak out. Just make up the run later. I was notorious for switching my days. I would do my long runs on a Friday because I wanted to spend the weekends with my family. So I didn't want to have to get up on a Saturday morning at 4:00 in the morning to run for 3 hours. Instead, I'm like, I'll do it Friday, still be able to, get my work day in, and then Saturday be able to be with the family. So you can kind of switch it up. Your body is going to hurt. So give yourself that freedom to take a day off when you just don't feel good and your body is aching or your knee or your foot or whatever it might be. Give yourself a break. And then you are going to have crappy runs. There's no way any marathon runner will ever say every single run, every single day of training was smooth, no problems. It was all great. If you have a crappy run, whatever, just part of training, check it off the box that you did it and look forward to the next day. The fourth tip that I would give is don't give up, because when you first look at the plan, it looks kind of simple, right? Okay, I'll just keep following this and following this. But as you get further and further down the weeks and the months, it gets tiring and you are tired and you sometimes do want to give up. Don't give up. Keep putting the miles in. During the actual race itself will be the first time ever that you run over 20, 22 miles. So everybody says that you hit the wall around that mile 20 to 25. And I hit it. I've hit it 5 times with my marathons that I've run. And you just have to push through it. You just have to keep moving, put one foot in front of the other and just keep pushing. The other thing is too, is you can't control race day. Could be hot, could be cold, could be windy, could be raining, who knows? Don't worry about it. Just finish. Just don't worry about your time. Just get the miles in and just cross the finish line, but don't give up. So a lot of people sometimes will watch their watch, and when they see their time that they were going for slip, they almost just say, forget it. You will regret it. Just keep pushing through and finish. Also, it's mind over matter. It's a very tricky thing to run 26.2 miles, but I used to always say while I was running, okay, how many people right now are still sleeping? How many people are eating some huge, ridiculously large breakfast and then are probably going to go take a nap afterwards? And I used to always think, I'm really in that very minute population that has ever run a marathon. And so that kind of gave me motivation to be like, yeah, I'm special. I'm a champion. I'm not winning the race, but I'm still doing it. And then the other thing I can't describe to you until you've done it is this like just euphoric wave that just washes over you completely when you cross the finish line. So you might look like this guy in the slide where you're wiped out, but you've got a smile on your face and you finish it. And I've had friends that have kind of just given up and they've regretted it, right? So just finish, because there's no feeling like it. It makes you forget the wall, forget everything else. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. The last one is you do have to enjoy that day. Like I was saying earlier, you can't predict if it's going to be hot or cold. I happened to run one of my Chicago marathons during that blistering heat. Nobody was going to get a PR that day. Nobody was going to run a good race. But I started it and I said, I have not put in, these 200 miles of training to not do this. And so I thought, this is only 26.2. So you got to let it just kind of go. Also, every race I've run, so I've done a couple in the East Coast, a couple in the Midwest, every single one, though, has such an environment and an atmosphere that is electrifying. Strangers are cheering you on. My first marathon, I taped my name. It said Deb. So I had these random strangers saying, go Deb, you can do it. And it's just so motivating and so exciting. And you can't not enjoy the day. So soak it in. And then I also would strongly encourage you to enjoy that day by cheering on others. If you are running and the guy in front of you just stumbles or just you could hear him breathe heavily and want to take a walk, give that person a little boost, give them some encouragement, because it really does become contagious out there on the race course. And then my favorite, there's always beer at the end. So don't forget, you've got whatever your vice is, whether it's beer, ice cream, that big breakfast. After you finish, enjoy that day because it lasts with you forever. And then you get your medal, and it's always fun to show the family.
That is really great. Those are some great 5 tips.
Yeah.
Enjoy it very thoroughly. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. So sure. During this 26.2 miles, which seems very long to me, is there any time during that where you're like, this just sucks? Like, this is just not very much fun?
Yeah. Lots of times, which is why you do need to kind of have that crowd around you, that people coaching and pushing you on, because it's like anything in life, right? I mean, there's just good days and bad days. So I guess, though, it comes down to why'd you do it in the first place? If you had that goal and that was your goal, come hell or high water, I'm going to do it. So you kind of forget about those valleys that you hit, and you just keep striving for the peaks.
That's great. And how do you relate this? You ramp salespeople for a living. How does this kind of 5 tips relate to sales in your world?
Oh my gosh, I think I probably could go back to every single slide and tell you just do this for life in general. It really does come down to, even in sales, you have to have a plan. You can't just wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm going to sell something. So again, map it out, plan it out. Who are your clients? Who's on your call list? Who's on your target list? Who are your prospects? Which clients do you need to connect with? So it does come down very similarly to having that plan. It also comes down to having an accountability partner. So whether it's your sales manager, a sales coach, somebody else in your office that you can lean on to say, hold me accountable, push me, motivate me. That's huge. Again, kind of thinking back to the slides, and you think about having bad days. I mean, I've done sales my entire life. It's over 25 years now. And there's some days that just stink, that you'll lose a big account or you'll lose a big prospect. And it sucks and it's terrible, but you have to pick yourself up and keep moving. So you got to just remember you're human, and put one foot in front of the other and keep going. And then also, like I was just saying, don't give up. Keep doing it, because in sales there is beer at the end too, which is your commission or your wins or those great client relationships that you land. So lots of similarities. Actually, probably too many similarities.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's really great. Why don't you flip that slide to get your contact information up?
Sure. Yep. And there's a picture of me with my two buddies, and we run. So those are the idiots that would wake up at 4:00 in the morning with me and hit the path, and we do many miles together.
That is excellent. And congratulations on doing 5 marathons. And
thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing on 5 tips. People are going to enjoy watching this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.